There is something inherently compelling about the idea of detachment, something that many men find themselves yearning for, yet struggling to attain. It's a concept that taps into the essence of human desire for autonomy, strength, and clarity. In a world that is constantly in motion, where emotions swirl and external pressures mount, the ability to detach, to step back and view life with a certain distance, can seem like an elusive but vital skill. Men in particular seem to wrestle with this desire more than most, as the modern world challenges them to maintain a sense of identity while navigating conflicting demands from society, work, relationships, and their own internal landscape. And most important, it often means committing to an internal narrative. Detachment in its truest sense is not about abandoning the world around you. It is not about retreating into apathy or indifference, but rather about gaining control over one's response to the world. The ability to detach means to hold a certain space between oneself and the emotional chaos, allowing one to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. The key lies in cultivating a mindset that remains unaffected by the transient and often tumultuous forces of life. Men, who are often taught to embrace strength, independence, and rationality, may find in detachment a form of power that resonates deeply with their sense of self. The need for detachment, at least in part, arises from the recognition that many of the forces men encounter on a daily basis are outside their control. Life is filled with unpredictable twists, the rise and fall of fortunes, the complexities of relationships, and the ever-present march of time. When a man is caught in the whirlwind of life, it is easy to become overwhelmed by the external demands placed upon him. His mind becomes cluttered with concerns about how others perceive him, how he measures up in the eyes of his peers, and how well he meets the expectations that are thrust upon him. The idea of detachment provides a way to break free from this cycle of external validation, allowing him to reclaim his sense of self. Detachment is a pathway to inner peace, a way of not being constantly drawn into the dramas and distractions of everyday existence. It is about developing a sense of inner resolve, a quiet strength that allows a person to remain grounded in the midst of chaos. Men, often conditioned to suppress their vulnerabilities or to prove their worth through action, may find it difficult to admit that they too need moments of retreat. But this very need speaks to the fundamental truth that detachment is not a rejection of the world, but rather a way of engaging with it more fully. In many ways, detachment can be seen as a response to the pressures of modern masculinity. Society frequently emphasizes the importance of performance, achievement, and outward success. Men are taught that their value lies in what they accomplish, in how well they meet expectations, and in their ability to provide, protect, and succeed. Yet the more men chase these external markers of success, the more they may lose sight of themselves. The endless pursuit of approval, the constant striving for validation from others, can drain a man's sense of purpose and fulfillment. This is where detachment comes into play. It offers a counterbalance to the world's noise, a reminder that self-worth is not defined by the opinions of others. Having self-worth, having respect for your own time, your place, or your moment, the process of detaching is in part an act of self-liberation. When a man can release his attachment to the opinions of others and the expectations of the world, he can discover a deeper sense of who he is. This self-discovery, however, is not an easy journey. It requires courage, discipline, and a willingness to face discomfort. It involves stepping back from the clutter of daily life, quieting the mind, and examining one's own thoughts, motivations, and desires. It is a practice of mindfulness, of being present without being consumed by the constant chatter of the outside world. At the core of detachment lies the understanding that emotions, while powerful, are fleeting. To be emotionally attached to every circumstance, every success or failure, is to be at the mercy of an ever-changing tide. For men, who often pride themselves on their ability to remain rational and composed, emotional turbulence can feel like a weakness. Detachment allows a man to acknowledge his emotions without being overwhelmed by them. It is a recognition that while emotions are part of the human experience, they do not need to define a person's sense of self. In this way, detachment offers a powerful means of emotional regulation. It helps men navigate the complexities of life with greater ease, understanding that they are not defined by any single moment or emotional experience. Moreover, detachment provides a way of managing relationships. Men often find themselves caught between competing demands in their relationships, between being a provider, a partner, a father, and an individual. These roles can sometimes feel at odds with one another, leading to inner conflict and emotional strain. The ability to detach allows a man to step back from the intensity of relational dynamics and view them from a more objective perspective. In doing so, he can better understand the needs of others as well as his own. Detachment is not about abandoning relationships, but rather about maintaining a healthy boundary between oneself and the other, ensuring that one's sense of self remains intact, even in the midst of close personal connections. The concept of detachment also aligns with the idea of personal growth. As a man grows and evolves, he may find that his values, priorities, and aspirations shift. This can be a difficult process, as the fear of losing identity or purpose can be overwhelming. However, detachment allows for the kind of fluidity and adaptability that is essential for growth. By stepping back from rigid attachments to old ways of thinking or being, a man can open himself up to new possibilities and experiences. This is not to say that detachment involves a rejection of the past, but rather that it enables one to move forward with greater clarity and purpose. It is a willingness to let go of the things that no longer serve one's growth and embrace the unknown with confidence and resolve. In practical terms, detachment involves a number of deliberate practices and mindset shifts. One of the most effective ways to cultivate detachment is through the development of mindfulness. By practicing mindfulness, a man can learn to observe his thoughts, emotions, and reactions without becoming overly attached to them. This creates space between stimulus and response, allowing for more thoughtful and intentional action. Mindfulness helps cultivate self-awareness, which is the foundation of detachment. It is through this awareness that one can begin to discern what truly matters and what is simply a distraction. Another crucial aspect of detachment is the practice of letting go. Letting go is not about abandoning responsibilities or relationships, but rather about releasing the need to control outcomes. It involves surrendering the attachment to specific results and accepting that life will unfold as it will. This does not mean passivity, but rather an active choice to remain centered and grounded, regardless of what comes. Sensitive to, the soul is expanded. It is wide open to receive life without constraint. Sensitive to, serenity rather than control. Letting go also involves releasing past grievances, regrets, or disappointments that may weigh heavily on the mind. It is a process of emotional decluttering, allowing space for new experiences and possibilities to emerge. The ability to detach also requires cultivating a sense of purpose that transcends external circumstances. A man who is deeply rooted in his own sense of meaning is less likely to be thrown off course by the fluctuations of life. Purpose provides a steady anchor, a foundation that remains constant even when everything else seems in flux. When a man is clear on his purpose, he can navigate the ups and downs of life with greater resilience and composure. Detachment, in this context, becomes an expression of a deeper commitment to one's values and goals. Detachment does not imply disengagement from the world, nor does it suggest that a man should isolate himself from others. Rather, it represents a healthy balance, the ability to engage with the world fully while maintaining a sense of inner peace and personal autonomy. It is a form of strength that comes from within, a quiet confidence that allows a man to face life's challenges without being consumed by them. In a broader sense, The desire for detachment speaks to a deeper longing for freedom. Freedom from the tyranny of external expectations, freedom from the constant need for approval, and freedom from the relentless pressure to perform. This freedom allows a man to chart his own course, to make decisions based on his own values and desires, rather than on the influence of others. Detachment, in this sense, is the key to reclaiming one's sovereignty. It is the antidote to the sense of being trapped in a never-ending cycle of obligations and demands. Ultimately, detachment is a tool for self-mastery. It is a way of cultivating control over one's thoughts, emotions, and actions so that they no longer dictate one's sense of self-worth. It offers a pathway to greater clarity, peace, and strength. And it is, perhaps, one of the most essential qualities that any man can develop in his journey toward becoming the best version of himself. Detachment enables individuals to manage their emotions effectively, allowing them to observe and respond to life's challenges thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. It offers a way to separate transient emotions from one's core identity, fostering inner peace and emotional resilience. The pursuit of detachment is rooted in the desire for independence from external expectations and societal pressures. It allows individuals to define their self-worth based on internal values, rather than relying on the approval or opinions of others, leading to greater self-confidence and clarity of purpose. Detachment supports personal growth by encouraging flexibility and the release of outdated beliefs or attachments. By stepping back from rigid identities or past experiences, individuals create space for new opportunities and personal evolution, cultivating a mindset that is open, adaptable, and focused on continuous improvement. The concept of detachment as emotional mastery is one that resonates deeply within the complexities of human existence, especially in the context of modern life, where emotions seem to surge at every turn. In a world filled with distractions, conflicts, and external pressures, emotions can easily take the reins, leading to impulsive actions and decisions that may not always serve us well. Detachment, however, provides a powerful framework for achieving emotional mastery. It involves stepping back and observing our emotions from a place of awareness without allowing them to dictate our behavior or sense of self. This ability to detach from our emotions is not about suppressing them, but rather about cultivating a balanced, thoughtful approach to them, ensuring that they do not overwhelm us or derail our goals. At the core of emotional mastery lies the understanding that emotions are not inherently negative or positive, they simply are. Emotions are signals, messengers that communicate something important about our internal state or the world around us. However, it is easy for individuals to become consumed by their emotional responses, especially when those emotions are intense or unpleasant. Anger, fear, jealousy, sadness. These are common emotions that many people struggle to process in a healthy way. When these emotions are not understood or managed, they can lead to destructive patterns of behavior, poor decision-making, and a disconnection from one's true sense of self. Detachment, in this sense, is not about eliminating or denying these emotions, but about observing them objectively and choosing how to respond, rather than react. The first step in emotional detachment is awareness. Without awareness, one cannot hope to detach from their emotions. We are often so caught up in the rush of life that we fail to pause and reflect on our emotional states. Emotions can arise swiftly, often before we even realize it. The challenge lies in recognizing that we are experiencing an emotion in the first place. This awareness allows us to acknowledge the emotion without judgment or fear, creating a space in which we can observe its origins and its effects. This detachment from the emotion itself does not mean that we shut down or ignore it. Rather, it means we engage with the emotion from a place of understanding and curiosity, rather than being swept away by it. Once we are aware of our emotional state, the next step is to create space between the emotion and our response. It is in this space that emotional mastery is truly cultivated. Most people, when faced with an emotional trigger, react immediately. The rush of anger, for example, can compel someone to lash out in frustration or make rash decisions. Fear may cause a person to freeze or avoid a situation altogether. These reactions are often based on unconscious patterns, learned behaviors, or instant judgments that may not serve our long-term well-being. Detachment allows us to step outside of this automatic reactionary process and pause before responding. This pause, though brief, is immensely powerful because it gives us the freedom to choose a more considered response rather than being ruled by the initial impulse. This controls the thinking rather than feeling. In emotional mastery, this space of detachment allows us to examine the root causes of our emotions. Why are we feeling this way? Is the emotion proportional to the situation, or is it a result of past experiences, biases, or unresolved conflicts? Often, emotions are not just about the present moment, but are influenced by past conditioning or unmet needs. Detachment enables us to explore these deeper layers of our emotional landscape without getting lost in them. For instance, a person might feel intense anger in a situation that seems relatively minor, but through detachment, they can begin to realize that their anger may be rooted in past experiences of injustice or helplessness. Understanding the origin of an emotion helps to disarm its power, allowing us to address the underlying issue rather than simply reacting to the surface-level emotion. In this way, emotional detachment is not about suppressing feelings, but about understanding them more clearly and responding from a place of wisdom. This process of examination requires a willingness to sit with uncomfortable emotions, which many people try to avoid. Emotions such as sadness, grief, or shame can feel overwhelming, and it is tempting to distract oneself or suppress them in order to avoid the discomfort. However, true emotional mastery involves the ability to face these emotions head-on without becoming consumed by them. Detachment allows us to experience the full range of emotions without allowing them to dominate our thoughts, actions, or sense of self. It is about acknowledging the emotion, understanding its message, and then making a conscious decision about how to move forward. One of the benefits of detaching from our emotions is that it helps us to avoid making impulsive decisions that are driven by emotional highs or lows. When we react without thinking, we are more likely to act out of fear, anger, or desire, which often leads to regrettable consequences. Emotional detachment provides us with the clarity to pause and reflect before making decisions, giving us the space to consider the long-term implications of our actions. This ability to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively is a hallmark of emotional mastery. It is the difference between being a slave to our emotions and having the power to choose how we engage with them. Detachment also plays a crucial role in managing stress and preventing burnout. The modern world is fast-pacing and demanding, and it can be all too easy to become overwhelmed by the constant barrage of information, expectations, and responsibilities. Stress often triggers emotional responses such as anxiety, frustration, or exhaustion. When these emotions are not managed effectively, they can take a toll on our mental and physical health. Detachment allows us to create a boundary between ourselves and the external stressors we encounter. By cultivating the ability to detach emotionally from the pressures of work, relationships, or other life circumstances, we can maintain a sense of calm and composure, even in the midst of chaos. And really, this is the vital nature of raging or experiencing anger or sexual desire, etc. Moreover, detachment as emotional mastery is essential for maintaining healthy relationships. Relationships often bring out strong emotions, especially when there are disagreements, unmet needs, or misunderstandings. Without detachment, emotions such as anger or resentment can cloud judgment and lead to communication breakdowns or conflict. Detachment allows individuals to take a step back from the emotional intensity of a situation and respond in a more constructive manner. By separating the emotion from the person or situation, we can engage more rationally and empathetically, which helps to foster understanding and resolution. It also allows us to maintain our emotional boundaries, ensuring that we do not become overly enmeshed in the emotional dynamics of others. In this way, detachment helps to preserve emotional integrity and strengthen relationships, rather than allowing them to be dominated by intense feelings. An essential part of emotional mastery through detachment is the ability to let go of past emotional baggage. Many individuals carry with them unresolved emotions from past experiences, which continue to shape their responses in the present. These unresolved emotions can manifest as anxiety, bitterness, or unhealed wounds, which interfere with personal growth and happiness. Detachment allows individuals to release their attachment to the past, recognizing that holding on to past emotions only serves to perpetuate suffering. By letting go of these emotional burdens, we create space for healing and growth. Detachment, in this sense, is an act of self-liberation, as it enables individuals to break free from the cycle of reactivity that keeps them tied to past pain. Detachment also enables us to remain objective in situations where our emotions may cloud our judgment. In high-stakes situations, such as in business or personal challenges, it can be easy to let emotions dictate our decisions, leading to choices that are based on fear, insecurity, or pride. Emotional detachment allows us to step back and view the situation from a more rational and unbiased perspective. This objectivity helps us to make decisions that are in alignment with our long-term goals and values, rather than reacting impulsively to short-term emotional triggers. Importantly, emotional detachment is not about withdrawing from the world or becoming indifferent to the needs of others. It is about engaging with the world from a place of inner strength and balance. When we are emotionally detached, we are not disconnected from our feelings or the experiences of others. Rather, we are able to engage with them from a position of awareness, clarity, and choice. This allows us to be present with others without becoming overwhelmed by their emotions or losing sight of our own emotional needs. It is a state of emotional equilibrium where we can fully experience and respond to the world around us without being controlled by it. The practice of detachment as emotional mastery is a lifelong journey, one that requires patience, discipline, and continuous self-awareness. It involves developing the ability to observe our emotions without judgment, to separate ourselves from automatic reactions, and to choose our responses based on our values and goals. This mastery over our emotions does not mean that we become cold, distant, or unfeeling. Rather, it means that we cultivate a deep understanding of our emotions and the freedom to respond to them in a way that aligns with our highest self. In this way, emotional detachment serves as a powerful tool for personal growth, self-regulation, and overall well-being. Emotional temper, it allows us to face life's challenges with greater clarity, resilience, and peace, ultimately leading to a more fulfilling and harmonious existence. Autonomy and freedom from external validation are deeply intertwined concepts that form the foundation of self-empowerment and personal growth. In a world that is constantly bombarding us with external cues about how we should live, think, and act, the pursuit of autonomy is both a radical and essential act. It is about reclaiming the right to govern one's life based on personal values, rather than allowing others to dictate one's actions, desires, or worth. External validation is the process by which individuals seek approval, recognition, or affirmation from others in order to feel valuable or accepted. While seeking approval is a natural human inclination, when it becomes the sole or primary measure of one's self-worth, it can lead to dependency, anxiety, and a lack of true freedom. Autonomy, on the other hand, involves standing firm in one's own sense of self, embracing individuality, and resisting the pull of external forces that seek to impose limitations or standards upon one's life. This journey to War. D. Autonomy is an ongoing process of self-discovery, self-expression, and the courage to defy societal expectations in favor of personal authenticity or qualities. Have the courage to defy societal expectations in favor of personal authenticities. In a society that often prizes achievement, success, and approval from others, it is easy to become trapped in the cycle of seeking validation. When individuals are not driven by the desire for external validation, they are more likely to align their actions with their core values and sense of purpose. This alignment leads to a greater sense of fulfillment and satisfaction, as individuals feel that they are living in accordance with their true selves. The freedom to choose one's path in life based on personal beliefs and values creates a profound sense of agency and control, which in turn enhances overall well-being. Another aspect of autonomy is the ability to set boundaries with others. When individuals are free from the need for external validation, they are better able to define their own limits and protect their emotional and mental space. Autonomy allows individuals to say no when necessary, to decline invitations or requests that do not align with their values or goals, and to prioritize their own well-being over the expectations of others. This ability to set boundaries is essential for maintaining mental health, as it prevents individuals from overcommitting, becoming overwhelmed, or sacrificing their needs in favor of others. By maintaining strong boundaries, individuals can preserve their autonomy and ensure that they are living in alignment with their own desires and priorities. In a world that often encourages people to look outside themselves for validation, the pursuit of autonomy and freedom from external approval is a radical and empowering act. It requires courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to embrace individuality and self-expression. When individuals are no longer bound by the need for external validation, they are free to live authentically, make decisions based on their own values, and embrace their true potential. Every individual is espoused both. This freedom not only leads to personal growth and fulfillment, but also creates the conditions for meaningful, authentic relationships and contributions to society. The journey toward autonomy is not always easy, but it is a journey worth undertaking, as it holds the promise of true freedom, self-determination, and a life lived in alignment with one's deepest desires and values. Personal growth and adaptability are essential pillars in the journey of becoming the best version of oneself. These two concepts are inextricably linked, as true growth requires the ability to adapt to an ever-changing world and continuously evolve in response to new challenges, experiences, and insights. Personal growth is not a linear process, nor is it something that occurs overnight. It is an ongoing, dynamic evolution that requires both introspection and action. It is through growth that we expand our capacity for resilience, emotional intelligence, and self-awareness. Yet, growth alone is not enough. Without the ability to adapt, the potential for transformation can remain unrealized. Adaptability allows us to move through life with a sense of flexibility and openness, enabling us to respond to adversity with grace and agility. The process of personal growth often begins with self-awarenesses. Before one can grow, there must first be an understanding of where they stand, what their strengths and weaknesses are, and what their aspirations are. This process of self-exploration can be both rewarding and challenging, as it often involves confronting uncomfortable truths or acknowledging parts of oneself that have been neglected or hidden. It may involve revisiting past experiences, questioning long-held beliefs, and becoming more attuned to one's emotions and desires. This stage of growth can be a deeply transformative one, as it opens the door to new possibilities and deeper insights into who we are and what we want from life. The journey of personal growth requires a willingness to embrace change. Change is often met with resistance, as it can feel unsettling and unpredictable. People are creatures of habit, and stepping outside of one's comfort zone can be intimidating. Yet it is through change that growth occurs. When we remain in the same patterns, routines, and environments, we limit our potential for growth. Adaptability in this context becomes a vital quality. To grow, we must be willing to embrace the discomfort of change and trust that it will ultimately lead to something better. Adaptability is about being open to the unknown, having the courage to take risks, and remaining fluid in the face of uncertainty. Disconnection. One of the keys to adaptability is a mindset of learning. A person who is truly adaptable does not view challenges or setbacks as failures, but as opportunities to learn and evolve. When faced with difficulty, an adaptable individual is not paralyzed by fear or frustration. Instead, they approach the situation with curiosity, seeking to understand what can be learned from the experience. This mindset of growth allows them to pivot when necessary and make adjustments to their approach. For example, someone who has been working towards a particular goal but encounters an unexpected obstacle may choose to view the challenge as a learning experience rather than a roadblock. They may explore alternative solutions, experiment with new strategies, or even reassess their goals based on the lessons they have learned. This ability to pivot and adjust is crucial for personal growth, as it enables individuals to stay on course even when faced with difficulties. Adaptability also requires the ability to embrace failure. Failure is often viewed as something negative, something to be avoided or feared. However, in the context of personal growth, failure can be one of the most valuable teachers. When we fail, we are given the opportunity to learn more about ourselves, our limitations, and our potential for improvement. Adaptability allows us to move past failure without being consumed by it. Instead of dwelling on mistakes or feeling defeated, an adaptable individual looks at failure as a chance to grow and refine their approach. They understand that success is often built on a foundation of failure and that each setback brings them one step closer to achieving their goals. This mindset of resilience and perseverance is a cornerstone of both personal growth and adaptability. Another critical aspect of adaptability is emotional regulation. Personal growth is not just about developing new skills or acquiring knowledge. It is also about managing one's emotions in a way that supports positive change. Emotional regulation allows individuals to remain calm and composed in the face of stress, uncertainty, and adversity. It enables them to respond to challenging situations with thoughtfulness and clarity, rather than reacting impulsively or being overwhelmed by negative emotions. This skill is essential for adaptability, as it allows individuals to maintain their focus and make decisions that are in alignment with their goals, even when emotions run high. When we are able to regulate our emotions, we create the mental space needed to problem solve, innovate, and take action, all of which are necessary components of personal growth. Self-discipline is also an important factor in personal growth and adaptability. While adaptability requires flexibility, self-discipline ensures that individuals stay committed to their goals and values, even when faced with distractions or difficulties. Personal growth often requires sustained effort and consistency. It is easy to become distracted by immediate gratification or external pressures, but self-discipline allows individuals to stay focused on the bigger picture. It is the inner strength to persist even when the path is difficult, to continue learning and growing despite setbacks or challenges. Without self-discipline, adaptability can become reactive rather than proactive. Individuals may constantly shift directions without clear purpose or intent. However, when self-discipline is paired with adaptability, it creates a powerful combination that allows for both growth and flexibility. As individuals continue to grow, they often encounter new challenges that require them to adapt in different ways. The process of personal growth is not static. It evolves as we encounter new phases of life, changing circumstances, and expanding responsibilities. For instance, someone who has grown in their professional life may encounter new challenges in their personal relationships, or vice versa. Personal growth does not only refer to advancement in one area of life, but to the holistic development of one's character, mindset, and capacities. Each stage of growth brings with it new opportunities for adaptation, whether that means learning new skills, adjusting priorities, or developing new perspectives. Adaptability ensures that individuals are not limited by their past experiences or old habits, but are instead able to integrate new knowledge and insights into their lives. Moreover, the ability to adapt is crucial in a world that is increasingly interconnected and fast-pacing. Technological advancements, societal shifts, and cultural changes are happening at an accelerated rate. The skills, knowledge, and behaviors that were once considered essential may no longer be relevant in the face of new developments. In such a rapidly changing world, adaptability becomes not just a personal asset, but a necessity. Those who are rigid or resistant to change will find themselves left behind, while those who are adaptable will thrive in the face of uncertainty. Personal growth in the modern world involves cultivating a mindset that is open to change, willing to learn new things, and able to pivot when necessary. Translating the messages from the physical to the spiritual and bridging the one with the other. The relationship between personal growth and adaptability also extends to our relationships with others. As we grow and evolve, our interactions with others are bound to change. People grow at different rates, and sometimes we find that our relationships no longer align with our values or aspirations. Adaptability allows us to navigate these changes in relationships with grace and understanding. Instead of clinging to outdated patterns or resisting the natural progression of relationships, adaptable individuals are able to embrace the changes that occur, whether it means letting go of certain people, adjusting expectations, or redefining roles within relationships. This adaptability fosters healthier, more authentic connections with others, as we are no longer trying to force others or ourselves into fixed molds. An essential aspect of personal growth and adaptability is the ability to stay true to oneself, even in the face of external pressures or changes. While adaptability requires us to remain flexible, it does not mean compromising on our core values, beliefs, or sense of self. True personal growth involves understanding who we are at our core and being able to express that authenticity, no matter what external circumstances arise. This requires a deep sense of self-trust and self-respect. Adaptability is not about becoming someone you are not, or molding yourself to fit the expectations of others, but rather about remaining true to yourself while adjusting to the challenges and opportunities that come your way. It is the ability to maintain your integrity while being open to the lessons and experiences that will help you grow. The journey of personal growth and adaptability is one that requires patience and persistence. It is not always easy, and there will inevitably be times when setbacks or challenges threaten to derail progress. However, it is during these times that the true potential for growth is realized. When individuals remain adaptable in the face of adversity, they develop resilience, inner strength, and wisdom. They learn that growth is not always a smooth or straightforward process, but is often marked by twists and turns, unexpected detours, and moments of uncertainty. These challenges are an inherent part of the growth process and serve to shape us into more capable, adaptable, and self-aware individuals. Senses of moral obedience become more expressive. They learn through continued learning, emotional regulation, self-discipline, and a willingness to embrace change, individuals can cultivate the mindset and habits necessary for sustained personal growth and adaptability, ultimately leading to a more fulfilling and purposeful life.